All right, so we're looking at the Denver load. The way we're going to start with this is we need to make sure that we have 32 inches laid out on the ground. The reason we use that is that wraps around the air pack pretty well. So you're going to start with that female coupling. We're going to put it right there. And basically the big, most important thing about this is we want to keep it nice and tight. When we get down to that female coupling, we're going to keep it short. And then you're going to loop back around, basically a horseshoe. So we're going to keep all this nice and tight. Let me tighten this up over here, RJ. And then pull that slack out. Once we get past there, we can go ahead and pull down to the coupling and continue on with the load. This does work best with 50 foot of hose. If you wanted to extend out more, it works best to have a couple different Denver loads put together. Now, the goal is to keep the male end where it ends on the opposite side of the female end. So we started the female end on this left side, we end with the male side on the right side. If we want to protect those threads, we can tie this together. We don't have to go all the way just so it's secure. And then we actually want to cheat back any slack so it doesn't fall out. So what I'll do is I'll cheat back here. And then we'll be able to take this and actually fold it in here. So from here, we want to separate. And you can see this is the middle of this fold. This is basically, this can be thrown over the shoulder, thrown over the air pack. Once again, this is a modification that isn't required to make. You could have shortened this up and had it hanging here. On the male side, we want to put a strap here and a strap here. If the nozzle is going to be right here, a lot of times we can just secure that nozzle right here, if that's what the application is going to be used for. If it's just to be used as a high-rise pack load or a dead load, we can do it just like that. And then we're going to do one strap on this side. Deploying it, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. When we do secure it, one other thing when we secure it, we actually want to turn it up on its side because we get maximum compression here. So then you just make sure that you have that brake in the center, and we can get maximum compression by pushing down on it. So deploying it, once we get it up and we're ready to deploy, we're going to lay it out on the ground. At this point, we can disconnect these two. If we had multiple sections to tie in together, we would just tie in, stretch them out. If this is going to stand it or go into our standpipe or somewhere else, another hose section, we can tie in, and our nozzle firefighter can actually take the nozzle, take that, either one really based on what length he needs to go to, and extend out. So RJ, go ahead and take that, extend out. This one ties in, and it flakes out well.
Hey, I'm Brian Beck, Lieutenant City of Newberry Fire Department. Today we're going to be demonstrating the Cleveland load, how to load it and how to deploy it. All right. All right, so you make sure you got about an arm width. And the easiest way to do it is just whip it around. Then at the end, you can go ahead and put your nozzle to it. You may have to pull it back just a little bit, make your nozzle fit in there right. So everything's lined up good. And there you go. There's how you load the cleaving load. Ordinarily, you'd have a couple straps on here to keep everything together, but we're not going to do that today for demonstration purposes. The two ways to carry it is you can carry it over your shoulder like so, or if you prefer, you can carry it just like so. This was actually a little long. All right, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna go ahead and make the connection. Once we make the connection with these 3/4, we're gonna charge it and then we're gonna demonstrate how to deploy it. All right, go ahead, Jay. All right, Jay, if you want to go ahead and deploy the hand line. Yep. Spread out.
So this is the FDNY high-rise pack. What we're going to do, Ross is going to bring down the other coupling, in this case it's the female coupling, and we're going to marry it up side by side. One of the things that we want to make sure that we do is we want to anticipate that we're going to start out with these side by side, but then we're actually going to offset the male so that the male is back a little bit further. So we're going to cheat down right about there. At that point, we're going to combine these side by side, make sure that they're nice and kept together. And we're performing this with 2.5 line, but it can be performed with 1 3/4. Then you're going to grab that middle section, you're going to bring it up, and you're going to set it down right there at that male coupling. And you're going to repeat the process. So I'm going to marry these all up together, keep them nice. All right, Ross? So he's going to do the same thing going up. This time we're going to bring it up, right where Ross has it. And you'll notice that over time, sometimes these do get a little off, so we may offset to keep it the same. All right, so at this point, when we get down to it's a manageable load, we're actually going to grab all the couplings. We're going to pick those up, and we're going to bring them over. And that load, we'll dress it up, we'll compress it, we would strap it, and it's complete. So if you want to take a look, we'll show you deployment. The nice thing is, all right, so this is 50 foot of hose. The nice thing is, if we wanted to put a nozzle on here right now, we could. However, if we wanted to tie in 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, we can carry this up. We could take this and set it here. If we had these packs laid side by side, you could take the female that would be right here and tie it right in. And tie that in. And all you have to do to deploy this is grab this middle section and walk straight up. It deploys very well in a stairwell or tight spaces, and it works well. And that is the FDNY high-res load.
RJ Dorn, City of Newberry. We're going to be going over the Minuteman bundle today. Pretty good dead load. I like it because it's easy to set on the front guy's pack. It deploys pretty well. Very simple to load. Depending on the height of your person or your compartment space, it's better to have it adjusted either behind the foot or to the ankle. I'm shorter, so I start off at the ankle with the male coupling. Also keeping in mind that when this finishes out on the leg, you either want to have the nozzle end back, so that would let your next leg come in, just to show you before we start, past the end of the nozzle. So it fold like this. That'll give this fold right behind the bell of the nozzle, allowing everything to be even. Some people like to slide it forward a little so they can have that designated nozzle out front so you can see it for easy deployment. But we're gonna go just shy today. I like to come back to my ankle, you'll have to do it. Different height people, you don't want a tall guy setting this up for a short guy carrying the air pack, because then it's gonna be hitting them on the back of the legs. So I'm shorter, I go to the ankle just a little past. Get that out. And then I like to go long, short on my ears. So you go short now. That makes it a little smaller on the sides, it doesn't bulge out so bad. And you just keep flaking it in. You can run a 50 or 100, whatever you run in your department. You can take this back and fold in, or either shy back the other way and end up a little longer. Protect those. Essentially, you could put straps on this and then set it over your fireman's back. Some people drop back but don't run a nozzle. They just use this for a true dead load. They actually just hook them together and this hangs below. Again, you're getting them that hitting their legs going up the stairs the whole time. So several different ways you can run this. It deploys pretty nice. If this was your standpipe, this was your nozzle, you can grab middle and nozzle, or depending on how far you're going to the fire room, this works out pretty well this way. And you got your Pertinax 25 at the door. If you run 100 foot, you would obviously grab that 50-foot coupling, you'll have 50 at the fire room door. The second part of this is, you just seen how we had it laid on the ground. The other way you convert this into a Minuteman is, once you bust your straps loose, you can just grab it in the center. Go ahead and load it. I still got my nozzle here and it'll flake off the top.
All right, so what we're going to be looking at right now is how to basically extend those lines out if we need a little bit longer line. And any of the techniques that we taught can be done with a 1.5 line, a 2.5 line, or 1.5 or 1.75. So what we can do is, if we want to extend out, we can use a combination nozzle. You can take the nozzle, shut the nozzle down, and remove the tip. That's whether you have smooth bore or fog. Then, with any of the packs that we've showed you, go ahead and take that female end. It works well if you flip the nozzle over, put a foot here, and then you can go ahead and start threading. And now you've extended out, and you've never even had to relay back to that other engine. At that point, you can charge the line, charge that extension as soon as your crews are ready down the line. Extend the line out 50, 100 feet, whatever you need. And if you need to overcompensate because you are going to have increased friction loss, you just can overpump that line a little bit.